Hey guys, Sean Terry here, flip2freedom.com. Hope you are doing well. All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about our hiring process, okay? The idea came from actually a subscriber who subscribed to the YouTube channel, actually left a comment below and gave us the idea, said he really wants to know about the hiring process. So if you have any suggestions about any videos, please leave them below. I'll make a list of them, and then I will make a video just for you. All right. So in this video, we're going to talk about our exact process to hire high quality, incredible people. And I'll tell you my story when I first hired, and it's pretty darn funny because I'm so stupid. It's crazy. Anyway, so if you want to go out there and crush it in 2023, you want to go out there and make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 either a year or a month. You want to hire some people because it takes leads and it takes people to go out there and really build an incredible business. So if you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and so you won't miss any of our rockin' videos. All right. Hiring. So here's the deal. I'm going to take you into a test that we give every single hire. I'm going to show you questions that we have them give us written answers for every single hire. And then I'll show you the next step process after that really kind of separates and whether you invest time and energy in that person. And we actually talk about even where we find people. I'll give you a couple different resources that you can use that you can find people for your business. All right. So first off, my first hire. So I joined a mastermind. This was a ways back, years and years ago, actually, and joined a mastermind. Never was part of a mastermind group before, and I always tried to figure stuff out on my own. And it's weird because you get in the way of yourself, and it's better to, be around people that are crushing it, and you can get incredible information, and it expedites your process when it goes through for your success. It's literally takes years and years off your success. So what happened was I joined this mastermind, and people are sharing some of the best things about their business, what's working for them, what's not working for them. And then I get up and do a presentation. And I remember at the time, I was working 7 days a week. I was stressed out. I was overweight. I wasn't eating healthy. I was just like going constantly 100 miles an hour, never having a time to breathe or even take a breath, because I had so much. I was doing, anywhere from 5 to 10 deals a month all by myself. So I was doing all the transaction coordination. I was doing, I was talking to sellers, going on appointments, getting contracts, doing all the marketing. I was handling any of the problems, dealing with all the buyers, dealing with the buyer marketing, meeting the buyers on property, doing all the contracts. I was doing the entire business by myself. And if and you've been doing the business by yourself, there's a lot involved doing this business. So I was working all the time because I was hustling and I got a lot of deals on the board, right? And I was now just trying to work and get them closed as I'm getting more deals in the process. So I'm standing up there and I'm explaining what I'm doing, and the facilitator, a guy named Jason Medley, awesome guy, love the guy, he's amazing, and he runs one of the biggest masterminds called Collective Genius, right now, and he does an amazing job. But anyways, so I was standing up there and I'm like exhausted, like almost in tears of stress. And he asked me one question, right? It's amazing what a question does, directed from the right person. He goes, "Why don't you hire?" And I'm like, hire? I can't hire. I'm a schmuck. How am I going to hire? I've never hired before in my life. I was like, what, hire? I can't hire. Listen, I didn't go to college. I don't have a business degree. I spent 4 years in the U.S. Marines. I got out, did some odd jobs and, did this other, MLM company where I sold water filters and stuff, but then, I ended up in real estate, not knowing anything about business. And I'm a grinder. I can do everything myself. But then to hire, I was like, well, why would I spend time teaching someone when I can just do it myself? And I didn't understand the power of leverage. So what happened was I said, oh my gosh, hire. That's a brilliant idea, but how can I do this? So I started putting the word out. My father-in-law is a state farm agent, referred me to this lady by the name of Nancy. And she was at the time probably in her mid to late 50s, just going through like a divorce, moved out to Arizona looking for a job. She did more like secretarial type of stuff. And so she comes in for the interview, and I schedule her for an interview. And I had all my questions like, what makes you the best candidate? And, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or where do all these stupid questions that I got off the internet. And I'm sitting there, I'm behind my desk, and she comes in and sits down in front of the desk, and I'm sitting there, and I'm, asking her these, very stupid questions instead of just trying to get to know her. And she's answering the questions, and she's doing a fabulous job. And I said, okay, you're hired. And I think I hired, I don't know, I think I don't know, it was like 10 or 12 bucks an hour or something like that, that I hired her for. And I said it was like a Friday, and I told her to come back on Monday and we'll get started. So I'm like, whew, man, I was nervous, man. I was actually nervous. My heart was beating for this interview because I've never done an interview before. So I go into the bathroom, right? And I'm sitting there. I was going to, wipe the sweat off my face, right? And go back, so I can go back to work. And I go in the office, and at the office, the bathroom, and I look in the mirror. I looked closely. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I could not believe it. So I'm looking in the mirror, and I have this big booger sitting right on the end of my nose, like this big, gigantic, wet, pulsating booger on the end of my nose. And I'm sitting there going, what a loser. She must have been just like laughing under her breath. So she comes in on Monday, right? And I talking to her, and I said, listen, I've got one rule, that if I have a booger on my nose, you have got to tell me or you're fired. And she busted out laughing. And that kind of broke the ice on a Monday when we got started. Now, the other interesting thing is that week, or I think it was maybe that week or the week after, I told her to start answering the phone when calls came in. And actually, they were coming to my cell phone. I forwarded it to her cell phone because I was going on an appointment with a seller. And when you're in an appointment with a seller, you pretty much shut everything off, and all you're doing is focusing on that seller, the situation. And sometimes it takes 2 hours at a seller. So I had one day I had 2 appointments back to back. So I was locked down in a seller's house for 4 hours, 2 different sellers for 4 hours. And I got all these calls, and all this stuff the list needs to be scrubbed, and all this stuff. So I gave her a job to scrub the lists, and I also gave her a job to answer the calls. So I got out of the meeting, got back to the office, and I said, hey, Nancy, how's it going? What's up? And I got one of the 2 contracts. So I'm excited, got a contract, good to go. And she goes, yeah, I took about, 10 calls, and I booked 3 or 4 appointments for you. And I got other people on follow-up, and I got the list scrubbed, and we're good to go. And something clicked for me right there. And the thing that clicked was leverage. Leverage clicked, meaning I'm doing work. I'm going out and getting a contract. And guess what? I have someone else that's great that's going out and getting stuff done, and they're booking appointments. All the calls were followed up on. All the old follow-up calls were done. The list was all scrubbed and ready to go to the mail house to send out our mailers. It was all done and everything all cleaned up. I was like, oh my gosh, leverage. I understood leverage for the first time, that guess what? You can get more stuff done with the right people when you hire. So if you're the type of person that thinks, oh, I'll just do it myself, because I don't want to spend the time teaching someone, that is the wrong attitude. If you want to do $1 million a year, 2 million, 3 million, $5 million a year, you must hire. Now, for me, when I think about getting something done, I don't think, how can I get something, this thing accomplished? I think, who can I get to accomplish this thing? That's a big mind shift. Now, how do we find the who? Well, first off, we have to define specifically what we're looking for, right? We have to define what we're looking for. And I'm going to give you, and I'll take you in to basically what we look for. I'm going to take you into Upwork real quick. And let me take you in here. This is Upwork, and I'm going to basically take you over here. And I'm going to give you some questions and stuff, but so see all postings. So here's a for a posting so you can see what it looks like. View job posting. Okay, so here's basically a job posting, job description. Sales customer experience advocate, our company, integrity homebuyer, successful growing real estate company seeking to stand out customer sales professionals to join a hardworking dynamic team. Property acquisition team is now hiring. We're offer training support when you need it. So it talks about our company, talks about benefits, a full-time career, paid off time, potential sick leave, paid training. Core values must be ambitious. We're looking for tenacious person who wants to serve and add value, right? All these purpose to help sellers solve their real estate problems while supplying investors with the right properties and their goals. Responsibilities: cultivate, maintain a high-level client relationship, negotiate property pricing, run comparable properties, hit weekly and monthly sales goals. Job requirements: fluent English a must, exceptional phone etiquette, rapport building, communication efficiency, proven sales or customer service background, management pipeline and prospects. So it kind of gives all their job requirements right there. And then basically was $10 to $12 an hour and a 2% commission. So we posted this, and we put, this is the primary ad, that we use in like Upwork. If we're hiring virtual assistants, we can put that ad on Craigslist. We can put it in Indeed, if you're familiar with Indeed, and then we can get local people to apply. But the bottom line is that we want to put it out there to as many people as possible. But then we want to have a process, how to determine if we're going to hire those people. So what we do essentially now is and let me go back to messages again. I'm going to go find, no, we go back over here, let me see. I'll go back to this one. Okay. So essentially the next thing we do is once we have the job posting, then they apply, right? They apply, whether it be from Indeed or be from Upwork, and they'll essentially apply for the job, and you'll get a notification. Then we're going to have them do a couple different things. We want actually 3 things. So I'm going to go back and show you this real quick. So we're going to have them do a couple things. Hello, great, looking incredible candidate. Thank you for applying. Can you please do these 2 things for me as soon as possible? Now, we're saying as soon as possible because we want to see how fast they respond. Now, we've sent this back, and we didn't get it back for 3 or 4 or 5 days. Well, they're gone. Forget about it. The speed of which they act is way too slow for us. We get some where they come back, and within a matter of minutes, less than 5 minutes, they come back with information, which is great. So let's get into it right here. So can you please record a 2-minute video and share about you and your experience? And can you answer these questions? So question number 1, and now these questions now are in writing. So we want to have these questions in writing because as a sales rep, there's a lot of communication via text, via email, and then verbal communication. So they got to be able to write clearly, and they got to be able to spell. And believe me, this test will eliminate a lot of people. Trust me. And you don't want to hire someone all of a sudden find out that they can't write or spell or anything like that. All right, so now if we go back into it, we want this written. Why do you believe you're the best candidate? And these are like dumb questions, but it just gets them to put it in writing. Why do you believe you're the best candidate? How do you best take action? Would you rather learn as you go, or learn as much as possible up front and then go? This is more of like a Colby type test. We'll talk about in a second. How do you perform best? Where are you least productive? So Here's the answers, basically explaining all the answers. How do you best take action? I best take action on several things. First, I am the best take action, meeting deadlines, targets, and goals, right? So this is, you can see how they're written. Here's the video. So they'll actually send a video of what they, and the video comes, well, you can, let me see if I can pull it up for you. So here's a video. I don't know if you can hear it, but so pretty clear. I mean, I don't know if you could hear that, but she actually spoke very clear and concise. Then we have them take a Kolbe A index test, and then they send the results to us, and then we determine if we're going to hire them or not. Now, we did not hire this girl because of her Kolbe index test, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So the Kolbe index test tells us how someone's going to take action. So what we do is we first put the job application out there, then they apply, then we have them give us a video and write written questions. We watch the video and we eliminate a lot of people on the video. We eliminate a lot of people on the written communication. Then we get to the test, and the test tells us how they are best to take action. And there's typically two different types of people. There's people that have to gather a bunch of information and then they can take action. And then there's people that learn as they go. They just, let's go, and I'm going to learn as I go. Those are two different personalities. And for this specific role as a sales rep, we want someone that's more fluent, they'll learn as they go, and they're not so rigid. Typically, someone that needs a ton of information before they take action is more of a technical type of person, and we would put them in a process role. Like dispositions is a process role. Transaction coordination is a process role. We would put those people in a process role situation versus putting them in a acquisition type of role where they got to be more fluent, kind of go with the punches when it comes to talking to sellers. And they need to just learn as they go, because they're literally, we give them education. We have them go through our courses. I've got some great courses that I've created specifically for me to teach my team that I actually give to you guys or sell to people, the members. We have one called Deal Conversion Pro that teaches everybody how to go out there and close deals over the phone virtually. So it's like we have our team, we have our new people go through that. The bottom line is we want people to learn as they go. So here's a couple different things I'll show you for a Kolbe. So for someone who's going to be acquisitions, this is what you want to see. You want to see a high quick start. Now, if you want to learn more about Kolbe A index, you can go here. This is a Kolbe A index test right here. You can watch this video. Gives you an idea of what it is. It's about a 36 question test. It costs $55. And I can tell you, it is the best $55 you will ever spend. It's better spending $55, seeing if you have the right person, than going out and having them on the staff 2 or 3 or 4 months, and they end up being the wrong person in the wrong seat. So here's one right here. So this is what you're looking for a acquisition person. You want to hire quick start. You want to have some fact find and follow through. You don't really look at this number. It's primarily these 3 numbers. Follow through means that they like to complete projects, and quick start means they get to learn as they go. And fact finding is they just need enough information just to take action. So this would be a perfect type of acquisition person. Now, a process person would be more like this: high on a fact find, high on a follow through, and they could have some, if they had a 4 quick start, that'd be great. But the bottom line is, like, for example, Devin is very similar to this right here. And she does all of our dispositions, meaning she lists all the properties. She's talking to all the agents that want to book properties or book their buyers to go see properties. She's very, regimented and specific and detailed and orientated and and organized when it comes to what she does, especially. And also Jubilee too is our transaction coordinator, very similar to this type right here, where she has high fact find and follow through, and just enough quick start to get them up and going. So when it comes to hiring, it's critically important to be able to do that. Now, I can do another whole video on when it comes to payroll structure and the best payroll structure. We literally have spreadsheets, and we've blown out certain models when it comes to payroll and what to pay staff members, whether they're virtual or in-house local. We have actually two different kind of comp plans for it. So if you want to learn about that, or if there's anything else you want to learn about, please leave a comment below. I'd be happy to record a video just for you, so you could learn more about this business. And the goal of these videos is to compress your time. What took me 20 years, you can learn in a matter of 12 to 18 months. I have taught people from scratch that have accomplished what I've accomplished in 20 years, right, in a matter of 18 months. So they've got there where they're doing $100,000, $200,000 a month in revenue in a matter of 18 months, and they're killing it right out of the gate. And we have a guy named Matt that's in our mastermind, Syndicate 9 mastermind there. He came in, he was doing about $100,000 a year. Well, last year he did $1.4 million, following exactly what we're talking about. We have another guy that did 1.5 million in a month, right? In a month, actually 1.266 million in a month. And I'm not going to get into exactly what he did and how he did it, but guess what? He learned it from our masterminds on how to excel. So if you want to go out there and crush it, definitely do so. If you could do me a favor, click the like and subscribe button. Here's a video right here of how to go out and do deals in a bear market, in a real estate crash. You can learn more right here on how to do that. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Have a fabulous day, and God bless. Take care.